In a faraway land, there once reigned a powerful king. He was incredibly proud of his immense wealth and formidable strength. His subjects feared him, their whispers following him like shadows, but true respect. That was a currency he couldn't seem to acquire. He firmly believed that money and power were the keys to unlocking any door, the solution to every problem. But in this very same kingdom, there lived a humble gardener. He was known not for riches or might, but for his boundless kindness and profound wisdom. His garden was a masterpiece of nature, a vibrant tapestry of colorful flowers, luscious fruits, and magnificent shade trees. It was a sanctuary for weary travelers who would often stop to rest beneath the cool canopy of his trees. The gardener always welcomed them with a warm smile and a kind word, his generosity as plentiful as the fruits in his orchard. One scorching afternoon, the king happened to pass by the gardener's oasis. He saw a crowd of people merchants, travelers, and even some of his own soldiers sitting peacefully under the gardener's trees, listening to his quiet wisdom. A deep frown creased the king's brow. An unsettling question echoed in his mind. Why? Why do these people respect this poor dirt-stained gardener more than they respect me, their king? The sight gnawed at his pride, a bitter pill he couldn't swallow. Consumed by jealousy, the king summoned the gardener to his grand court. Surrounded by marble and gold, he looked down at the humble man. "You live a simple, insignificant life," the king began, his voice dripping with disdain. "Yet the people sing your praises. Do not forget who rules this land. It is I. Without me, without my power, you are nothing." His words were meant to sting, to remind the gardener of his place. The gardener, unfazed by the king's display of authority, simply bowed his head in humility. "Your Majesty," he replied, his voice calm and steady, "power and wealth are indeed great gifts, bestowed upon a few. But respect, Your Majesty, is something else entirely. It cannot be demanded or bought. It must be earned through one's deeds and character." His simple truth hung in the air, a stark contrast to the king's hollow threat. The king's face turned crimson with rage. The audacity! "How dare you?" he thundered, his voice echoing through the vast hall. "How dare a mere gardener lecture me, the king? I will show you the true power of a king. I will break this foolish wisdom of yours." His pride was wounded, and in his anger, he began to plot the gardener's downfall. The very next day, a royal decree was issued. The gardener was once again summoned to the palace. The king, with a cruel smirk playing on his lips, held out his hand. In his palm lay a single, dark seed. "If you are as wise as they say," the king challenged, his eyes glinting with malice, "then take this seed, plant it. In 1 year's time, you will bring me the fruit it bears. If you fail, you will face a punishment so severe that no one will ever dare to question my authority again." The gardener took the seed and examined it closely. His heart sank, but his face remained a mask of calm. The seed was roasted. It was lifeless, impossible to grow. Any other person might have argued, protested, or pleaded for mercy, but the gardener simply bowed, accepted the seed, and left the palace without a word. He understood the king's game, but he chose to play it with his own rules, patience, and honesty. Days bled into weeks, and weeks stretched into months. The gardener went about his daily routine. He planted the roasted seed in a beautiful pot, placing it in the sunniest spot in his garden. He watered it every morning, knowing full well it would never sprout. But he didn't despair. He continued his true work, tending to his vibrant garden, helping the poor with food from his harvest, sharing his water with thirsty travelers, and teaching the village children how to care for the earth. His kindness didn't waver, even under the shadow of the king's threat. Meanwhile, whispers turned into loud rumors that snaked through the kingdom. "The gardener is doomed," people said. "He can't make the seed grow. The king will surely punish him." Some felt pity, while others, loyal to the king, eagerly awaited the gardener's failure. Through it all, the gardener remained a picture of patience, his spirit as unshakable as the ancient trees he tended. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. 1 year had passed. The gardener picked up the pot, which held nothing but barren soil, and made his way to the palace. As he entered the court, the king, sitting high on his throne, burst into a loud, mocking laugh. His laughter was echoed by the nervous courtiers around him. "Well, Gardener," the king boomed, his voice filled with triumphant scorn, "where is the fruit I commanded you to bring? Has your famous wisdom finally failed you? Have you come to accept your punishment?" He leaned forward, savoring his moment of victory. The gardener calmly placed the empty pot before the throne and bowed deeply. "Your Majesty," he said, his voice clear and resonant, "no one in this world, not the wisest sage, nor the most powerful king, can grow fruit from a roasted seed. I knew from the moment you gave it to me that it would never sprout. But I accepted your command and tried with all the patience and honesty the first possess. The fault, Your Majesty, is not in the effort, but in the seed itself." A profound silence fell over the court. The king's laughter died in his throat. He looked around at his ministers and advisers. He saw them shift uncomfortably, many lowering their eyes in shame. They, too, had been dishonest in their duties, planting their own roasted seeds of flattery and deceit to please him. In that moment, the gardener's simple, unwavering honesty acted as a mirror, reflecting the court's own corruption. A sudden, sharp sting of shame pierced the king's heart. It was a feeling he hadn't experienced in years. The gardener was right. His power, his wealth, his threats, none of it could hide the truth forever. The gardener had not tried to deceive him or make excuses. He had simply presented the truth, bravely and without fear. With a heavy heart and a newfound humility, the king rose from his throne. His voice, now stripped of its arrogance, was quiet but firm. "You are right," he admitted, looking directly at the gardener. "I set a trap for you, a test of my power, yet you met my deceit with patience and my arrogance with honesty. I, the king, was the one who was foolish. From this day forward, you will be my chief advisor. A kingdom must be guided by truth and wisdom, not by pride and fear." The gardener accepted the position with the same humility he had shown all along. And from that day on, guided by the honest wisdom of a simple gardener, the kingdom transformed. It flourished not just in wealth, but in justice, kindness, and true prosperity. The story serves as a timeless reminder. Arrogance and pride can blind even the strongest among us, but patience and honesty, like the sun after a storm, will always win in the end. Thank you so much for watching this story with me today. I hope it brought a little bit of wisdom to your day. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up, and forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next story. See you next time!